Showers Street Growers Explained. In this video I will talk about Showers Street Growers. We are talking about your eggplant and how it looks different in flaccid state, okay, so, and what is contributing to the fact that some guys have longer eggplant in flaccid state, okay. So in this video will also help you maybe to boost a little bit of your eggplant size, and I will explain why. Because many guys, they have under optimized circulation, blood flow, nitric oxide system, okay. And if you will boost this, I will guarantee your eggplant will look much bigger, not in flaccid state but also in erect state, okay. So but let me tell you how erections are working, okay. So we need some kind of stimulation, okay, to trigger erection, okay. And then parasympathetic nerves are triggering acetylcholine, and acetylcholine will release nitric oxide, and this will relax smooth muscle in your penile tissue, okay. We got much more blood in our penile tissue, then we need to compress the veins and to keep the blood inside, okay, and voila, there is an erection, okay. The problem and the difference between growers, street showers, is in one thing. The problem is sympathetic nervous system, okay. So it's your stress mode, okay. So it also releases adrenaline, noradrenaline, that we need as an arousal, okay. So a little bit of that we need, but most guys these days, they have excess sympathetic nervous system, okay. So they definitely need to fix it, otherwise you will experience performance anxiety, short flaccid hang, hard flaccid ED, and premature ejaculation, okay. All of these can be fixed by switching your system from sympathetic to parasympathetic. If you need my help, you will find a link for my coaching, okay. I can create your custom protocol on that, okay. So performance anxiety is only respond to sympathetic tone, because once you have failed, it's like feedback, okay, to this experience, okay. So the chicken and egg, probably the chicken is parasympathetic, is sympathetic nervous system, okay. So, and why you have overactivation of sympathetic nervous system, okay. This is like stress system, you need to understand, okay. So generally stress, any kind of stress, even like coming from chronic inflammation, will contribute to this, okay. Also high estrogen, because estrogen per se is stress hormone, okay. So guys, if your estrogen is over 40, it will have negative effect on your erectile quality, okay, even on your smooth muscle health, okay. So it's pretty well known that high estrogen is contributing to pure smooth muscle health in your penile tissue, and we need really good health of smooth muscles, okay. So fasting, caloric restriction, idiotic diets like low carb diets, keto or carnivore, okay, so they trigger a lot of stress, okay, a lot of stress and lower DHT, okay. Maybe your testosterone will raise a little bit, yeah, and you will be happy, yeah, I got a really high testosterone, but on the other hand, your cortisol will be really bad, and your DHT also repairs your smooth muscle, guys, and is extremely important for sexual functioning, much more important than testosterone, even if you want to have birth and all these kind of things, confidence, all these kind of things, okay. So if you have too many stimulants, honestly, I drink a lot of coffee, so I know how it works, okay. So guys in gyms, for example, things like clenbuterol, okay, so ephedrine and yohimbine and all these kind of things will stimulate your nervous system too much, okay. So also, like I told you, caffeine is affecting adenosine. Adenosine is energy, and caffeine is regular drinking or to be in very high caffeine states. It will override adenosine, but you can still override this condition, okay, by proper nitric oxide function, and you can also support adenosine, okay. So guys, overtraining, yeah, too much cardio, mineral imbalance, okay. So like I said, uncoupled nitric oxide synthase, all these contribute to sympathetic tone, and you will be grower, not shower, okay. So glutamate, guys. So I plan to release a video on glutamate, but don't have so much time right now. So glutamate stimulates brain and nerve activity, but also these days many guys have this overstimulation from glutamate, okay. So maybe also your genes are affected, GAD1, okay. So even if you are taking GABA, guys, yeah, I'm taking GABA and I still experience anxiety because GAD1 is not working properly, okay? Or you don't have cofactors to not convert your GABA into glutamate, okay? So you also need cofactor. Maybe you have also nutritional deficiency that are contributing to glutamate overload, okay, guys? Yeah. So, and glutamate overload, anxiety, racing thoughts, sexual performance issues, okay? You can use choline amino acid, okay? Even, look, also why so many guys when they take glycine have problems, okay? They have problems because glycine can activate NMDA, is NMDA agonist, okay? So it will somehow boost the glutamate receptors, okay. So you need to have a counterpart that will decrease the stimulating effect, and also very low dose glycine has this effect, okay. So what you can do to suppress sympathetic tone, okay, if you need my help, you will find the link for the coaching, but generally don't fast, don't restrict calories, no low carb or keto because it all leading to high stress. Okay, you can have supplements with alpha 2 adrenergic receptors, okay. Uh, okay, you can increase your acetylcholine, okay. You can support GABA synthesis if you are not high in GABA, if you have these high glutamate states, okay. So you can use things like zinc, vitamin C to support your adrenals, okay. So and how will you go? How will you go from grower to shower? Okay, so like I said, parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, and the main contributor is acetylcholine. Okay, but acetylcholine also need balance. Okay, because it can be also bit stimulated. Okay, so but generally it will release. Penile blood, relax penile blood vessels, okay, so you don't have this constriction that can happen from too much coffee, from low adenosine, from low nitric oxide, from too much sympathetic tone, okay. So it also calms down this overactive sympathetic tone, okay. So it has also effect on nitric oxide, okay. So but I would say it should be also balanced with GABA, okay. Dopamine, okay, so why dopamine? Because, for example, dopamine is affecting prolactin, okay? Prolactin can have really negative effect on erection as estrogen, okay? So it will blocks your erections, okay? So also dopamine, another plus is nitric oxide release, okay? So, and also release of or activation of oxytocinergic neurons, okay. So guys, for example, how you should distinguish if you have sympathetic or parasympathetic tone? Quite easily, especially for me it works, okay. Take Bulgarian tribulus, and if it makes you like very jittery, aggressive and so on, you have sympathetic tone. Why? Because tribulus help to increase adrenaline. Okay, tribulus is a great thing for other things like libido and so on, but guys with sympathetic nervous system need to rebalance the effect of tribulus, okay. So like I said, if you need my help under this video, okay. So also how to override everything. The perfect thing is to make balance of everything, okay. So like to have slight switch to parasympathetic nervous system, okay? And then you also need to boost your nitric oxide synthase, and you also need to fix your adenosine and adenosine receptors, okay? And together you will have much more blood flow to your penile tissue, okay? So your penile tissue will look better in a flaccid state and also in an erect state, okay? And you can also use things that improves erections, okay? Things like that can increase dopamine. Promethein is one of these things, but generally you also need to fix your dopamine sensitivity. And for this, the best thing is mitochondrial health. You can use also melanocortin drugs, okay, that will trigger melanocortin pathways, okay. So, and also you can use things like tribulus, okay. So because tribulus can also act on prolactin. Guys, that's it, okay. So right now you know what's the difference between showers and growers. And if you found this video helpful, leave a comment under this video. Bye guys.